Measure. She packed the blowgun again, drew breath, and shot another wad into the other nostril. My brain felt like it had been plugged into a socket. A spigot turned on in my nose, and the nausea peaked. I was finally able to eject some, but not all of the contents of my stomach. Minutes later, Brandy half carried me, still clutching my bucket, to an adjacent room and helped me onto a heated massage table. The session was over. Having purified my system, I was now supposed to rest. I was supposed to feel mildly euphoric now that the suffering was over, but suffering and bile were still very much in me, and resting comfortably was not an option. On the massage table, I posted myself up on all fours, head over bucket, throat raw, tissue dingleberries on my stubble. I wondered, was it worth the agony? Given the alternative, it was. The Courageous Coward. In nearly 2 decades working for ABC News, I've cultivated the image of a reporter who emerges from the wreckage of a disaster with a story and casually flicks off the dust. A connoisseur of the close scrape, I've nearly had my foot blown off in Afghanistan, raced through sniper fire in Lebanon, and been the captive of Venezuela's secret police for 5 days. I've swum with anacondas in the Amazon and tiger sharks in the Bahamas, been in a tornado's bear cage and the eyes of hurricanes. That public persona of jovial fearlessness has obscured a secret 20-plus year battle with panic disorder. Just as an orgasm is the maximal expression of physical pleasure, a panic attack is the maximal expression of anxiety. Though the cocktail of symptoms and possible triggers a panicker might face are as unique as a fingerprint, panic is typically defined as a spasm of debilitating fear in the absence of real danger. And like an orgasm, panic is a disorienting explosion of sensation that's liable to leave you sweaty, panting, and foggy-brained. My panics are triggered by the bread and butter of my job as a TV reporter, presenting on live television. A live report typically entails speaking for 15 to 40 seconds, anywhere from 25 to 75 words, or roughly the number of words you've just heard in this paragraph. This would not seem particularly taxing, but try regurgitating those 25 or so words during a panic with your heart rattling against your ribcage and a demonic gremlin with a pot of whiteout erasing your memory of how to breathe, much less talk. Millions of viewers have watched my brain short-circuit on their screens. The vast majority wouldn't have registered it as a choke. On my side of the camera, I feel like an adrenalized drunk, stumbling away from the bar using every fiber of my being just to not fall down. In the days that followed an on-air panic, I would nurse a shame hangover, belittling myself for a C+ performance, and ask a recurring question. What the hell is wrong with me? Am I the product of a malevolent kink in the genetic code? The irony is that in my line of work, I confront plenty of real physical danger. In that sense, I embody a paradox, the courageous coward. When inserted into real-world chaos and peril, I soar. When expected to perform in the calm of a live shot, I crash. One of the hallmarks of panic disorder is the fear of losing control. Long before I knew that, I was dogged by the fear that, in a panic, I'd either blurt out the wrong thing or nothing at all. You can't edit a live report. There is no taking it back, and once something is broadcast, it spawns on the internet where it lives in perpetuity. So why was it, I wondered, that I lacked the fear of great bodily harm, but brimmed with the fear of great reputational harm? Why not the other way around? A TV reporter whose biggest fear is presenting a live report is like a free solo climber afraid of heights. So I obsessively covered up my Achilles heel from friends and colleagues. I even kept it from myself. When I'd mention these brain blackouts in my journals, I'd do it cryptically, scribbling entries in shorthand that even I could barely decipher.